It's Taco Tuesday!
Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Taco, back with another video for you guys. I know it's been about 2 or 3 weeks since my last upload, but I was traveling out of the country and I'm finally back home, back on the grind, back into my routine of uploading, so you guys can expect uploads on a regular basis moving forward. Today, I think it's going to be one of my most important NFT videos that I've made so far on the channel, and that is how to get whitelisted in some of the biggest and most hyped upcoming NFT projects. Speaking from my own experience, some of the projects that I've been able to get whitelisted for that I think are pretty significant since I've been in the space are Invisible Friends, which was one of the most hyped NFT projects pre-mint I think ever. There was 300,000 people in the Discord trying to get whitelisted for only 2,500 community spots. So I was lucky enough to secure that. And then more recently, what I think to be two of the most hype upcoming NFT projects, Whiskers and Project PXN or Phantom Network. I've already secured whitelist for both of those and knocked those out early on. So I'll tell you guys exactly how I did that. And these tips and strategy really apply to any NFT project out there. So whether it's, has a ton of hype or not, I still think these tips are going to work. Before we get started, as always, if you guys have been enjoying this content, please hammer the like button, subscribe to support the channel, and then drop me a comment. What projects are you guys grinding for? What projects are you guys trying to get whitelist for right now? Real quick, for those of you who are not super familiar, being whitelisted basically gives you a pre-order or early access to this project's minting, meaning that you're guaranteed a chance to mint. You don't have to worry about, a public mint or a gas war or anything like that. You're guaranteed a mint. You usually have 24 hours or so to mint, and it's also going to give you pretty much almost always the lowest cost of entry to a project, meaning that you're going to be able to get in for the lowest cost, which ultimately is going to maximize any kind of profits or returns that you're going for. For just about every project out there, at least the ones of quality for sure, there are going to be two different umbrellas in terms of how you're able to get whitelisted or early access. The first is going to be through creative or creation, meaning that if you're an artist, you're going to be able to create some kind of fan art. If you're a musician, maybe create a freestyle or some kind of song about the project. Beatboxing, there are a ton of different ways to use various different talents where you're actually able to go ahead and create something, whether it's, like I said, a video, a graphic, whatever. And it's a way to show kind of appreciation or homage to the project. Once you create whatever it is that you're creating, sharing it both on Twitter and tagging the project, and then also posting it in, the art, community art, fan art section of their Discord. For a lot of people, this is going to be the best method. Utilize your talents and whatever you're capable of doing. But for someone like myself, who is not necessarily artistically talented, it makes it a lot more difficult, at least in my opinion, because we have to be a little bit more creative about how we go ahead and get whitelist spots. So that second part or second umbrella is going to be through what I think is community engagement. As I covered, like myself, I'm sure many of you are not artistically talented, so this puts you in a bit of situation in terms of how to stand out. So this is where we're going to get into my tips and strategies on how exactly to do that and where I found success. And I'll start off by saying step number one or tip number one is to be early in these NFT projects. So we're looking at a project here called the Metabucks. It's an animated PFP project that is really starting to gather quite a bit of hype recently. I see a lot of people on my timeline are talking about it. It's a closed Discord, so there are a lot of people that are still trying to get in, but there are about 30,000 people in here right now, and we can take a look at the chat, and it's moving pretty quick. The activity is very, very strong. There are a ton of events and everything else. When I say be in early, the key is to find these projects early, whether you're in alpha groups, whether you're just on Twitter and you come across a project. Anything that I see that looks like it has any bit of potential, I usually follow it, turn notifications on, and just let things develop. It's better to be early than to miss out on something just because maybe you didn't like the art or you didn't think it had any potential. In the case of the Metabucks, it's actually created by a member of the Invisible Friends community. So he was able to hook us up with Discord invites very early on. I was one of the day one people to join in the server, so I have the early bird or OG for this server. And basically what that does in a lot of cases is it does give you whitelist spot by having OG or early access. And if it doesn't, at least it gives you a step ahead of the hype, a step ahead of everyone else in terms of going and getting that whitelist spot. Another example of this is Whiskers. You can see they got 67,000 followers here. I actually covered this project in one of my upcoming NFT project videos, but I was in the server, I think one of the first days, or at least in that first week, where they allowed people in. It is a closed Discord. There's only 7,700 people in here. But regardless, in my opinion, this is one of the biggest upcoming NFT projects. It's got a lot of hype around it. And I was able to secure the first fish role in the server. And as you can see, I am allow listed as well. So basically, I was first 500, first 1,000 or so. I don't know exactly what it is. I guess it's first 900 into the server. And then by being early in the server, I put in some work, met members of the team who eventually became moderators and participated in events that eventually earned me allow list. So when I say be early, the two best methods I can say in terms of finding these projects so that you're early are: one, utilize any alpha groups or anyone that you know in the space. Really build your connections where people are sharing different projects. You're someone who's going to be receiving these invites, receiving any of this early alpha. And two, it's going to be to follow my videos. If you guys have been following my videos at all, I've been calling out projects sub 10,000 followers or so, and then we're seeing these projects blow up to 50,000 followers, 100,000 followers, and whatnot. So if you guys are able to get in early, either by watching my videos through your alpha groups or just by being active on Twitter, you're gonna come across a ton of projects every single day. It doesn't hurt for you to go ahead, check them out, and just see what they're about, follow them, and as a project develops, if there's a Discord open or opportunities to get whitelist, get on it. My next tip, and this is really just one for life in general, but it's to not be afraid to embarrass yourself. The other day I was in a VC, a voice chat, and someone said it so well, but it was closed mouse or quiet mouse don't eat in the NFT space. And what they mean by that is by you just being in these Discord servers, being active on Twitter, that's really not enough for you to break through all the noise and all the people that are likely trying to get whitelisted in these projects. You really have to go above and beyond to make yourself stand out. An example that I'll give you guys from literally just yesterday was with Phantom Network or Project PXN, which I did cover in one of my upcoming hype NFT videos. And this is probably going to be one of the biggest upcoming mints that there is, in my opinion. Basically, they have a raffle for this Valorant week. Each day, they're picking random players in the Discord to play Valorant with both two professional players and then two members of the team. So as you can see here, I was lucky enough to get selected, which in itself is very lucky and rare. I don't usually get picked for these kind of things, but I was selected to play in the Valorant match. And I mean, straight up, I'm not a Valorant grinder by any means. I'm like a platinum player. Playing with a pro, playing with a member of the team, you basically had to finish top 2. And with having a pro on your team, that basically means you need to finish second place. And so, I could have, not done it. I could have, maybe been nervous or scared that I was, going to get destroyed and not have a chance. But I went ahead and played it because I have been playing Valorant more. I did finish second on my team. And that right there is how I got ghosted or whitelisted for Phantom Network. Another project that I covered was DeFi Friends. Very bullish about them as well. They have a ton of events throughout the week, as you can see in their events tab right here, such as, like cooking events, they have fitness, they have all kinds of stuff. But one of the things that they do have is they have an NFT talk where everyone goes to the stage and basically shares how they got into NFTs and why. And there will be maybe 150, 200 people in there. But if you go up there and just tell your story and, you're brave enough to do that, you might get friend listed or whitelisted by just doing that, by raising your hand, talking and explaining your story in front of everyone else. So don't get me wrong. I know that can be intimidating, talking in front of a bunch of people, playing Valorant with, pros on your team, and, maybe you don't think you're the best player, any of these kind of situations. But you just have to not be afraid to do it. You have to step out of your comfort zone if you're really going to want to get whitelisted for some of these hype upcoming projects. This is going to be my third rule, and I think this maybe should have been even my first or second because it's so important to so many people when they first join the space. In my opinion, they definitely get this mixed up and confused, but we're seeing the NFT space move away from this, and this is the whole idea of grinding. And what I mean by grinding is I mean sitting in the general chat or slow chat or whatnot and typing messages all day, thinking that you need to hit a certain message count to get whitelisted in these projects. An example that I'll use here is Invisible Friends. As you can see, they have 540,000 followers and they had about 500K, 400K before they had minted. And as I mentioned, it was a 5,000 supply, but there was only 2,500 spots available for the community. So if we go in here, there were, into the Random Character Collective Discord, there were so many people. They actually got rid of the Invisible Lounge channel, but there were so many people who would just, be in the chat typing all day. And I think you did have to have a certain amount of messages to get to a certain level that would help you basically level up or have a better chance in the Discord. And it's same with Phantom Network and Imaginary Ones and a lot of these other projects. You do have to have a level of messages. You definitely don't want to get burnt out typing messages all day long. That's not fun. It's not great for your mental. And at the end of the day, a lot of these projects are starting to discourage this kind of behavior. Basically, kind of my strategy and how I got the Invisible Friends whitelist, I did have a decent amount of messages. I had, I think, 4,000 or so, but I was active in voice chat. And I would say this is my bigger thing, is focus on the personal applications when you can. Obviously, typing in chat is going to be pretty inauthentic. If you can go to voice chat and maybe even turn your camera on if you're allowed to, or just go into voice chat and hang out in there, that is where you're actually going to, one, get a ton of alpha from a lot of people that are in the community. You're likely going to make some connections or friends by other people who are grinding the project or genuinely just an active member in that particular community. Also, there is a really good chance that members of the team, whether it's a community mod or whatnot, are going to go ahead and actually join in, and you'll be able to have a conversation with them. They'll recognize your name, and that's going to set you up for success. So for Invisible Friends, that's how I got whitelisted in probably one of the harder projects that there were to get whitelist for. I was active in the VC. I was active in the chat. I also participated in all the events too. But the key thing for this rule is that voice chat, being in voice chat, making those personal connections, not typing all day, because I've seen people with 10,000 messages, 20,000 messages, and they don't have whitelist in some of these projects. And they would have saved so much of their time by just going in voice chat, making some friends, getting a ton of alpha on, hey, what project do you think is good? Blah, blah, blah. It's definitely the route I would take if you're trying to get whitelisted for a lot of these projects. My tip number 4 is also going to be around using your talents and what you're good at, but when you're not an artist. So for me, I'm a gamer. So for instance, in Forgotten Ethereal Worlds, for those of you who are unfamiliar, this is a really popular project. It's a hard Discord to even get into, but then there is a ton that it takes to get whitelisted. Luckily, one of the main ways to get whitelisted here is actually by gaming and playing a ton of the different games that they have, whether it's poker, they may have, Smash Carts, as you can see here, Valorant, Warzone, whatever there is. Playing games is kind of my strength. So when I see things like Smash Carts or Smash Carts tourneys, I try to play them and get involved in them. You saw with the Phantom Network, I played the Valorant match. So basically utilizing my strength as a gamer. I was just talking about how DeFi Friends had a cooking event. If you're skilled or, you cook for fun, this is an event where you're going to need to participate, because it's going to give you the best chance out of everything. It's going to save you a ton of time. Instead of, doing all the messages like I was saying, you're able to just utilize your strengths. And the other part of this is that if you're actually active in the community for a lot of these Discords, you can actually propose some of these ideas. So I'm sure there was someone who is really into the gym, really into fitness, that proposed to DeFi Friends, can I, host a fitness event or a fitness talk? And, let's see if people are interested. And if they are, that would be awesome. I'd love to do it. There's a ton of different ways like that where you can kind of propose things. I hope you guys found this video helpful. Like I said, I've been able to get whitelisted in a ton of big projects. Those are just kind of the tips that I did. But at the end of the day, it's going to be up to you. How badly do you want it? Are you willing to put in a ton of time and a ton of effort? And if you are, more often than not, you're going to be rewarded. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you have any questions on these tips or anything else in terms of, what should I do for this server? How can I leverage this, whatnot? Drop a comment down below. I'd be happy to answer for you guys. But that's going to wrap it up for today. Until next time, I'm out.